Thank you so much for staying with us on World is One News and welcome back to Wion Wallet. Now the government has announced a hike in fuel prices on Sunday evening. The price of petrol has been raised by 1.29 rupees and diesel by 0.97 per litre. Anxious customers queued up at fuel stations to get their vehicles refilled on Sunday hours before the new price came into effect. Less than a month back, petrol prices were raised by 2.21 rupees a litre and price of diesel was hiked by 1.79 rupees on December 17th. Let's move on to the stock markets now. The markets ended flat today in the first trading session of 2017. The Sensex ended at the 25,595 levels, down 0.12%. So marginal losses really almost flat in trade, and the Nifty ended close to the 8,200 mark. Just a tad short really of hitting the 8,200 mark. Almost flat again, down 0.08% in trade. The rupee closed at 68.09 to the dollar and crude oil ended up almost 0.5% in trade today. Now after the private banks announced rate cuts, the BankX bled on the bosses and shed 1.18% in trade. The Nifty PSU Bank Index also saw pressure coming in and ended down 2% in trade today. Let's go over to Mr. Lovely Sharma, who's the markets analyst, who is joining by to give us a sense of how the Indian markets will really pan out to be in the year 2017. Now, Mr. Sharma, good evening. First up, do you think that the banking sector is going to be the crucial sector for the year 2017 going forward, and why is it really that the sector is failing to show the much needed buoyancies? I mean, the PSU banks have outperformed the BankX as well, but if you notice, PSU banks also ended down today, BankX also ended down today, and there is a fair bit of pressure coming in the banking stocks. What's the reason?
Yes, Chatty, very rightly said. See, banking stocks have seen a lot, from recapitalization back in FY16, when we have had a kind of a 25,000 crore approval for recapitalization as per the B15 law. And going forward with some financial inclusion and some government policies, we are seeing a lot of things happening inside the banking system only. And especially if we focus on PSU banks as compared to private sector banks, well, private sector banks have had their own story related to the NPA. But when you look at PSU banks, they have been through a lot of financial inclusion. Though in research terms, you cannot see that kind of a gains. We have seen, bank Nifty falling from 20,000 odd levels, sustaining the 17,900 levels. But I think it will take time. The things may come into effect. We are awaiting, financial budget as well, which will be tabled in a month or two. So of course, going forward, there will be some kind of a, wait and watch kind of a situation. As far as 2017, yes, I'm pretty much bullish because we will be seeing a kind of the impact of this in the balance sheet in the later half of the FY17. So I think going forward, one can be bullish if 2017 is a concern. In the short term, there can be volatility.
And of course, the banking sector will always remain under focus as far as 2017 is concerned. We'll wait and watch to see how that pans out. Now, it is always said, Lavlesh, that the FIIs are the ones that are governing the market trends and not really the DIIs. The DII activity in India is showing fair bit of momentum, and I'm guessing that's because of the systematic investment plans that are coming in, or the SIPs. What really happens to the FII activity? Where do we stand on that bit of front with the dollar showing so much of strength, the rupee value depreciating, and we just saw very recently FIIs pull out of the market? How long before they come back into India, and how long before the activity on the FII front really starts showing momentum in the markets, because that is something which is going to be governing our Indian markets this year going forward?
Absolutely. See, there are two scenarios. First, that we have continuously seen FIIs have been on the short side. They have been continuous seller from late September and early October of 2016. We are seeing that trend to be in play. Recent data also suggests that FIIs has been on a selling spree, though they have covered some of the positions by having call options on the long side. but of course their net position is on the downside. As far as how long it will take them to come back, well, in the recent terms, when we have seen dollar index appreciating, and specifically when we have seen a kind of a capital outflow from the country. So in recent terms, we are still in a wait and watch. FIIs in fact would wait for financial budget, what are the policies and how it will be pan out, and of course after the budget with some kind of a correction from current levels, FIIs may come back, but in the short term, of course, I don't see any kind of a trigger, any kind of a positive momentum from the government side, or some kind of a levels in the market. Technically as well, we don't see any kind of a bottom in place in the near term. So of course, FIIs may come back, but in near term, we are not very sure that it is about time.
And how do you really see the consumption sector pan out? The stocks in the sector completely are beaten down in last year, which is 2016.
See, consumption stocks, yes, due to demonetization, yes, there has been an effect. It might be seen in quarter 3 and quarter 4 of FY16, and going forward 3 months as well. It will take time. There are some stocks which are good at current levels. There may be some kind of a value buying coming in, but I don't think anyone would play a very large bet on the current valuations, because if the story is still on. We have seen 3 months, now we are going to see 3 months more. The liquidity will be very important. RBI on its part as well has said that it may take some time to provide that ample liquidity in the market. Consumption stocks during February, I think may see some kind of value buying because of the lower levels, but currently I think there has to be a sell-on rise strategy, because the levels which we are seeing in these kind of stocks has been very suitable for bears. So going forward, I think sell-on rise will be the strategy in consumption stocks as well.
You think IT is going to be a bit of a safe haven for most investors this year?
Absolutely, IT has been one of the counters. If I go by the GAN theory, it has done some kind of a price time square recently at 10,000 odd levels. Secondly, if you see stocks like Infosys, which were trading at P multiple of 70, they came down to a P multiple of around 20. These kind of levels does attract long-term buyers. IT, I think, will be going to be the theme for 2017. Though anything may happen in the short term due to some policies related to US or Donald Trump, but in long term, IT sector has always given a kind of decent returns in the portfolio. IT, I think, will be the theme. 950, 960 levels in Infosys are one of the levels where one should add it into their portfolio.
And what is really the market threshold that you are operating with this year for the benchmark indices for the year going forward? I mean, of course, Nifty would have to be flirting around the 8,000 range, and do you see that dropping down further on? What would your threshold be that one needs to watch out for the markets?
At threshold levels, well, it's quite hard to tell, but yes, at current levels, 8,000 seem to be intact. But I'll be on, opposing this if 8,000 is not sustained. 7,200 to 7,400, then you get Nifty at a P multiple of at around 16 to 17. Now these levels have been in place, and we have seen market at 6,300, 6,400 when there was a breakout, and this rally has been from 6,400 to 9,100. At that kind of a levels, I would be very much interested to have a long-term portfolio addition and some value buying, that too aggressively. So 7,400, 7,500 are those kind of a levels where long-term buyers will be in place. Going forward, I think the market is for short-term traders who would like to see a sell-on rise strategy. 8,400, 8,300, still see some kind of a short build-up on the call side. So I think these will be the levels which we have to watch. If we are above 8,400, clear and clean, we may see hitting 8,700. But if we are not able to reach 8,400 in short term, we may see a downside momentum to 7,800 back.
When that happens, do you think that it will be a good time for investors and traders who like to go bottom fishing at those levels? And do you see resilience coming in from there on for recalibration going forward in the second half of the next year?
It's quite hard to tell if Nifty is going to sustain, but if 8,000 is breached, I think we are going back to 74, 7200, because the momentum is down. The channel which we are seeing from 8968, which was previous year high, the momentum has been down. And if we just have had a talk about FIIs, they have been on a continuous selling momentum. So I don't think any kind of a recalibration or any kind of a positive momentum in near term. 8400, 500 are still a very big hurdle for a short term bulls.
What's your sense really on the dollar rally? Are the markets prepared for a dollar rally? We already have seen a 10% appreciation on that index. Where do you see this going from here on? I think dollar index is now at around 103 odd levels. Do you see a further uptick going forward this year?
Absolutely. The kind of a levels, 100, 101 were very, stiff resistance for dollar. We haven't seen that kind of levels in the last few, years. And as soon as we have seen it going above 100 and sustaining there, I think there still are going to, we have had, US GDP data at 3.6%. This is kind of a very, very positive data which is coming in. And
all right, we've lost the connection with Lavlesh Sharma right there. Just to wind up, he did mention that Nifty would find support this year going forward at the 7,400 levels, and that's the threshold we will be working with. But all in all, a good year ahead for the Indian markets going forward, with the banking sector coming a little bit under pressure. On that note, it's a good time now for us to say goodbye to you on Wion Wallet. We will see you tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Thank you so much for tuning into World is One News.